Well, there's no beating around the bush with this one. I know why you're here, for another top 10 list of games that came out in 2015. Now, a few disclaimers about this list. The first thing is that although I played a lot of really good games this year, I'm only going to include games that came out in 2015. So, admittedly, there's quite a few that I wish I could talk about, but maybe I'll talk about them at some other point. If it wasn't made in 2015, it's not on the list. Now here's a few games, just to get it out of the way, that aren't going to be on this list. Bloodborne, because I don't have a PS4. Fallout 4, because I'm not too terribly interested in the Fallout series as of yet. The Witcher 3, because I haven't gotten around to playing it. I know that it's good. I've seen all the awards that it's had. But if this is a game that's going to take up about 80 hours of my life, just like Skyrim did or whatever, I want to give this game its proper due. Give me some time. I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet. And Metal Gear Solid 5 isn't going to be on this list because unless I find a way that I give Hideo Kojima himself $60 in exchange for playing this game, I'm never playing that game. Screw you, Konami. You're not getting another cent out of me. Well, now that we got that out of the way, here's my top 10 games that I played in 2015. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room right now. Fast Racing Neo is F-Zero. This is what an updated HD version of F-Zero would look like. And the thing is, they don't even try to hide it. Look, one of the corporations sponsoring a ship in this is called Vulcan Capital. Vulcan Capital. Gee, if you reverse the name and called it Capital Vulcan, it sounds an awful lot like Captain Falcon, doesn't it? Show your moves, Nintendo! But you know what? F-Zero fans like me have been without a new game for over a decade, and with its phase shift mechanic, breakneck speeds, and great soundtracks for the game that it is, Fast Racing Neo is more than a suitable replacement until the next F-Zero is released. I can only imagine what the development meeting for this game must have been like. Hey, let's create a dungeon crawler that can be played with a DDR pad because it's rhythm-based. Well, one way or another, Cryptid the Necrodancer ends up working quite well. The music is good, the controls are solid with a keyboard or dance pad, and the ability to use your own music can lead to some pretty hilarious situations. This is definitely one dungeon crawl I'll be coming back to again and again. Force! What a testosterone-filled kick in the teeth this game was. Imagine a Contra set in the Expendables universe and you get Broforce. Every over-the-top 80s action character is in this game, each with their own moveset. RoboCop, Terminator, Indiana Jones, Ripley, Ash from Evil Dead, The Boondock Saints, Conan, Walker Texas Ranger, Blade, Machete, Commando, Mad Max, Rambo, John McClane, everyone! This game is freaking amazing. Play it now! You know, I get the feeling that if Ori and the Blind Forest came out 5 years ago, the reaction to it would have been a lot crazier. But after games like Bastion, Child of Light, Dust and Elysian Tale, and Outland have come in recent years, Ori feels like it's doing pretty much the same thing. Solid gameplay mechanics with an unbelievably beautiful presentation. None of which takes away the fact that the game totally stands up on its own merits with its story, visuals, and music. Now see, Microsoft Studios? You can make something good that's not Halo. Keep at it! Downwell is a game you will end up hating at some point. And you will have no one to blame but yourself. This is as close to a modern arcade game as you can get. All you know going into this is that you have guns on your shoes. That's it. Everything else, you have to figure out on your own. And anytime you feel like you have a grip on what's happening, you pass through a new layer that has its own mechanics. You'll love it for the simplicity, hit detection, and sound design, and you'll hate it for its unrelenting difficulty. Either way, you'll be finding yourself falling down this well over and over again. Especially if you're a big fan of The Binding of Isaac and its roguelike tendencies, this game is definitely right up there on that alley. Hey everybody, do you like Yoshi's Island on the Super NES? Yeah? Wouldn't it be so much better if that gurgle monkey known as Baby Mario wasn't there? Yeah? Well then this game is perfect for you! Yoshi's Woolly World is one of the most solid platformers I've played in a long time. It feels ripped from Yoshi's Island game engine, but updated with HD woolly graphics. Probably the only time I'll ever say that in a sentence, with the same kind of chill acoustic soundtrack you got in Kirby's Epic Yarn. It looks great, it plays great, it's surprisingly difficult if you want to go for full completion. It's just a solid Yoshi platformer. And we all know how good Nintendo is at cranking those out. Speaking of which... Okay, full disclosure, I'm probably a little biased about this game. Why? Because the freaking Game Grumps played a level of mine.
No, you're all right. Oh, God. Oh, you might do it.
That being said, though, think about how this game got everyone's attention. A year ago, everyone was thinking Super Mario Maker was going to be a throwaway game. No one was hyped for it. Then at the end of the Nintendo World Championships 2015, we saw the madness we could create with this thing, and suddenly everybody needed this. For the first time, we could create any level we could possibly think of, as long as we could clear it ourselves. This is a never-ending Mario game spanning across 4 genres. And every time I turn it on, I find a good, new Mario level that I've never seen before. So far as Mario is concerned, that's all I've ever wanted. The best multiplayer shooter of 2015 was made by Nintendo. How crazy is that? And leave it to Nintendo to take a genre that has been done to death and innovate the crap out of it with its ink-swimming squid kids. Splatoon feels like Jet Set Radio turned into a shooter set in the abandoned sets of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Freaking amazing. Victories being determined by how much mess you make as opposed to kills makes matches feel alive and fresh, and the gibberish songs weirdly match the setting pretty perfectly. And who would have thought Nintendo would be the poster child of how to do DLC right? Splatoon was a bit bare bones when it launched, but almost bi-weekly ever since launch, Nintendo has been updating Splatoon with free DLC, adding new maps, weapons, apparel, splatfests, and new game types. Splatoon is just pure, fast, colorful awesomeness, and I love it. And on that note, I absolutely love what the Gmod community has done with the Inklings on YouTube. If you haven't seen some of those videos, you gotta check them out, especially Spider's channel. His videos are freaking awesome. Jeez, and we thought Nintendo releasing a shooter was crazy. Who would have thought a game about rocket-powered remote-controlled cars playing 3-on-3 soccer would have taken the world by storm? Although I like the design of Splatoon more than Rocket League, what won me over was the fact that there are absolutely no perks. Sure, there's customizable options, but nothing gives a player an edge over the other player. Everyone is on the same playing field. Once you have a grip of the mechanics, that's it. So, when you see someone flying in midair, stall, and then boost towards the ball to make a midair spike for a goal, you know how much skill is needed to perform that move. That's what made Rocket League so competitive for me. When I was up against an experienced player, I wasn't saying, oh man, that guy's got the best gear. I was saying, oh man, that guy is good. This is multiplayer at its finest. I've already got 50 hours in on Rocket League, and I'm sure it's not going to take too long for me to tack on another 50 hours into Rocket League. Freaking awesome. There have been few times, especially later in my life, where a game has genuinely surprised me. Undertale surprised me on multiple levels. This game revealed to me some assumptions I make simply by instinct after playing games for as long as I have. Why do we assume that the shopkeeper will buy our useless junk? Why do we assume that every monster we encounter in an RPG has to die? This was the first game that I can think of that asked the player why. Now, I've already done a review of this game with as little spoilers as possible, so if you want to know more about what I really think of Undertale, go ahead and check that out. Or if you want to hear some people who actually do reviews for a living and know what they're talking about, I highly recommend that you check out Total Biscuit, Jim Sterling, and Zero Punctuation's Top Games of 2015 videos. They also don't give anything away about Undertale. If I had to briefly sum up what makes Undertale so great though, I'll finish my thoughts with this. Undertale proves that even in this modern age of AAA developers and shiny HD graphics, fantastic writing and character design is truly the difference between a good game and a masterpiece. Well, that's my top 10 games I played in 2015 that came out in 2015. Now please, as with every list you find on the internet, this is just my opinion, so if your favorite game didn't show up on here, sorry, I either thought it wasn't that great, or like I said before, I just didn't get around to playing it or whatever. But if 2015 told us anything, it's this. Games are getting better and better, and 2016 is looking to be even better than that. Because not only are we getting some of those kickstarted games back, but Zelda U and No Man's Sky is coming as well. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. So if you like this video, give me some thumbs to let me know, and until next time, people, see ya!